Hey everyone, I'm Veronica and welcome to my channel. This is a tag video where I will share with you fragrances that I have repurchased, where I've actually used the entire bottle and purchased a brand new one. I was tagged by Annie Reviews and she tagged a bunch of people at the end of her video. So if you have a YouTube fragrance channel, you may want to check her description box because your name might be in it. I enjoy tag videos. They are another sort of lens or iteration or way for us to share with you what we think about fragrances. Fragrances we like, fragrances we enjoy collecting, fragrances we dislike, whatever the idea of the tag is. It's just another way for us to talk about fragrances with you, and I think they're creative and fun. And I also enjoy the tags that ask questions of the YouTubers so that we could get to know each other. Without further ado, I have 14 fragrances that I have repurchased that I can see from my collection. When I scan, I might have missed one or two, and I won't do notes. I'll just sort of share a little bit about each one with you. So let's jump in. First is Michael by Michael Kors. A quick note about this fragrance that I recently learned is that the newer bottles have Michael Kors on them, whereas the originals only have Michael, the name Michael on the front. It's the same perfume, although the original formulation is a bit stronger and deeper and a little brighter. Just keep that in mind if you're a fan of this fragrance. I think this is bottle number 3 or something, for about like along those lines. I can't talk today. Bottle number 3 or something along those lines for me. And I have a full, big bottle here. I like that this is a very feminine, floral powerhouse of a fragrance. It's got tuberose in it and some other supporting white florals. And it is like a beast mode fragrance. Really love that. I know you're tired of hearing me talk about it, but still, Jennifer Lopez. This is probably my 3rd bottle that I'm actually working my way through. And you can see from a backup bottle video that I did earlier that I have a bunch of backups of this as well. This is a clean citrus floral fragrance with a tea and a rice note in there that I just find an easy reach, and I'm guaranteed to feel pretty and fresh in it. Ginger Essence by Origins. Love this. Got sick of it because I wore it so much. This is bottle number, I don't know what. I went through multiple bottles of this and then took a break from it and came back to it and purchased this most recent bottle. If you like ginger, this is a must-have in your collection. It is heavy, heavy on the ginger. People will know that you're wearing Ginger Essence. Really nice fragrance for spring and summer, and actually does quite well in the winter as well. Eternity. Eternity. This is one from yesteryear that I wore with vigor. This is a carnation heavy bomb of a fragrance. Another one that is really just out there in your face, a loud floral, but very pretty, very commanding presence this one has. So be careful wearing it and don't overspray. So that's Eternity from Calvin Klein. Another Calvin Klein is CK1 that I wore a lot during my college years. In fact, it's a very, at the time it was groundbreaking because it was one of the first sort of real unisex fragrances, if you will, that was marketed to the masses. CK1. Aqua de Joya from Giorgio Armani. Really bright, loud, summer aquatic fragrance with some greenness to it. A little bit sharp, but I like it. It's clean and it's fresh and it's great for high heat. Aqua de Joya. Pleasures from Estee Lauder. This is another very heavy floral. It reminds me of college days. I have great memory associations with this. When it first came out, my girlfriend purchased it in college, and then all the other girlfriends were like, oh, we gotta have a bottle. So we all had bottles of Pleasures in college, and I've had a bottle with me for forever. So I don't know what number bottle this is, but Pleasures, and it will always be in my collection. Dior Addict by Christian Dior. Probably one of the sexiest fragrances in the world. Very heavy, To me, it's a gourmand. I think that's what it's classified as. And if not, it should be. Very deep, sultry fragrance. Fantastic for super cold weather. Don't wear this in the summer, or if you do, be ready because you're going to be annoying and cloying. It is a very heavy, feminine, deep, sexy, sultry, vanilla-centric fragrance. Prada Iris, what is it called? Infusion d'Iris. I always say Infusion d'Iris. Very nice iris based fragrance. Simple, clean, not super commanding. It's very light and close to the skin, but pretty. People will, if they're near you in your scent bubble around you, will notice this fragrance and think that you just smell pleasant and nice. Escape. Can you see that Calvin Klein is sweeping this category of fragrances for me? Because Calvin Klein was the Tom Ford of the 90s. It's true. Lots and lots of fragrances. Very prolific house in the 90s. This is, I call this like an ozonic, oceanic kind of fragrance. It's got some really strong notes in here, maybe an aquatic touch to it as well. Lots of florals, very in your face, very in your face. Reminds me somewhat of L'Eau de Issey Miyake, which is another really heavy, powerful 90s summerish kind of fragrance. This has vibes like that. Escape. Another Calvin Klein, CKB. Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot like CK1. It just has a little bit more of a woody profile. CKB, really like this a lot. Also another groundbreaking fragrance in the 90s. And I have, I think, 2 more. Let me take a quick look. No, 3 more. How could I forget the super important one? But the next one is one that I don't think I will repurchase again, and it's Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. This is, I believe, my 2nd bottle of this. And while I do like this, I have grown to like other fragrances in this same kind of family better, where I don't reach for this often. I will finish using this. I do like it. And I have since ordered the Sun version because I want to try that out. I have a spray of the Intense version or Intense version as well. I like them. Don't get me wrong. I just will not repurchase, at least not now. I need a break from it. Like I took a break from Ginger Essence, and maybe we'll come back to this later. But that's Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. There's no denying that it's a beautiful fragrance in its own right. And then the last 2, which often compete for my #1 place in my heart, soul, and forever and ever. I'll just share them with you together. Alien by Thierry Mugler. Everyone knows this fragrance. It's beyond iconic, right? Jasmine, amber, woody fragrance. Beautiful, was my wedding scent. And this is my 2nd bottle. And you can see I put quite a dent in this one. This is the EDP. Don't play with the EDT, at least not for me. I'm sure it's beautiful, but I need the powerhouse fragrance. And then Amorees by Givenchy. One that I had to grow into this one. It is a 90s fragrance for me, in early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s fragrance. But in the early 90s, people were wearing this a lot. Was it the early 90s? Somewhere in there. And then later on, when I entered the career, I had a colleague who wore this in the teacher's lounge. And she just smelled amazing, and I was always afraid to wear it because it's such a powerhouse of a fragrance. Another heavy tuberose fragrance. It's got some, I think, peach and other florals and fruit in there, and then a woody base if I'm not mistaken. But it's an amazing, super feminine fragrance, ultra femme. These 2 are powerhouses for me. Love them. They fight for #1 in my fragrance wardrobe. And I am, I think, on official bottle #2 of this, although I think I've also gone through like a smaller bottle of it at some point. So maybe it's #3. I don't remember. But those are the fragrances that I have repurchased that I could see in my collection. Maybe I've left 1 or 2 out. And I would like to tag a few people because I'm curious to see what other people have repurchased. And I am not sure whether Annie tagged these folks or not, but Maria Collett, I'd love to see what you have repurchased. Julia at scentsiblings.c.a, Marcy at Marcelina Thomas, my two guy friends here, Jay at Maskman Reviews. What have you repurchased? And then my boy Marcial at Marcials Blends Fragrances. And finally, I haven't seen her on YouTube in a bit, but if she's still making videos, Debbie Ricio, I would love to see what you have repurchased. So hope you enjoyed. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing and hanging out with me again. If you are returning, I appreciate you taking a few more minutes out of your day to spend with me, and I hope you all have a wonderful one. Take care, friends.